And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. All right, today's a big old Thursday. There's preseason games on tonight, baby. Woof! The preseason week 2 starts today, folks. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday, folks. Right? It goes into Monday. Hey, let me double check this. I'm pretty sure it goes into Monday. I think we got 2 games on Monday, or am I bugging? No, I'm not. 1 game Monday, Jags, Saints, folks. So buckle up. We are in for it. Let's see how these teams are progressing. Teams that didn't look that great in preseason game number 1, did they clean up the mistakes? And that's going to be the biggest thing to watch here in game number 2. Are these teams cleaning up their mistakes? Is their offense being a little bit better? Are they doing better from preseason game number 1 to preseason game number 2? That is going to be huge, and that's something that's going to be a point of emphasis that we are going to be watching for here when we watch all these games this weekend. Every single day, every single hour, every single minute, there's football on, baby. So get pumped. It all tips off tonight. Eagles, Patriots, and we're going to break down that game and choose our winner and line for that and bet that game and see how it goes. And if anybody makes the fame or shameless. So we've been hitting pretty solid in our picks so far early on in this preseason. We've had 4 total picks and we've only missed on 1. So Great, 75%, bingo, bango. I mean, if you're betting 75%, sheesh, you must be rich by now, baby. So that's what we're going to be doing today on the show. Probably won't get into a team refresher because I think we're done with these team refreshers for the rest of the offseason. For the rest of the preseason, I should say, because we are going to be having a bonus episode today with a guest live in studio, folks. And this guest that we have today, he's one of the only 2. There's only really 2 people that I respect their sports takes in totality. I'm talking about all the sports, across all the sports. I don't agree with everything, but I respect the points that they make and where they come from and their arguments and about all that stuff. So there's really only 2 people I respect like that. One is Colin Coward, and the other is going to be our guest later today. So we're going to have that show as a bonus. It's going to be put up everywhere. It's going to be streamed live if you want to come over and watch it at twitch.tv/takesbyfans, probably around 2:30 Eastern today. But can't wait for that. And in that bonus episode, that bonus show with our live guest, we are just going to be talking every single team, our kind of overall thoughts on these teams going into week 1. We're going to walk through their schedules, kind of see who's going to be the division leader, the division winner. Does any team have a chance to win that division of those 4 teams? And we're just going to kind of walk through and basically kind of get our solid final thoughts before the NFL season officially kicks off. We've seen, we know what the teams did last season. We are kind of seeing what they're made of. They're rookies, and they're kind of, are they getting better now in preseason games? And now it's just kind of finally time to get all of our thoughts out there, and we're gonna have our guest out there keeping us in check, because you've heard us rant for over a year, over an hour every single day, but we've got another opinion over here, Takes by Fans, and there's gonna be 2 fans in the studio today, folks, so it's gonna be great. So, with all that being said, let's just jump right into today's episode right now with the stories of the day, and let's talk about Deshaun Watson, folks, because he's done, folks. The man is done. Here we go. So this is what we were going to talk about yesterday. Also, we ran very late yesterday, so we have to kind of squeeze in a couple of stories that we were going to talk about yesterday, and this was one of them. Texans and Deshaun Watson have an understanding that he won't play pending a future trade. So this was yesterday, or 2 days ago, the 17th, that this came out. More information came out yesterday that basically puts this story to bed. It doesn't even need to be talked about. But Deshaun Watson really probably not going to be playing this year, and there was a slight sliver of hope. There was about 2 days where we were kind of buying into Deshaun Watson kind of being the week 1 starter, and the odds were pretty solid. You could have made some solid money. It was like plus 500. He was at plus like 1,000 before that, and then it dropped to plus like 550. So let's just quickly see. Deshaun Watson playing is still at 550, but now we say this is a bad bet. This is not a good bet anymore. So Texans and Deshaun Watson have an understanding that he won't play pending a future trade, so he's probably not going to be playing for the Texans. He still wants out. He still wants to trade. He is still standing firm on that. But what is going to hurt his chances of playing this year, or really playing ever again, is once again the sexual assault allegations, and it just got even worse yesterday. So here we go. Let's talk about this. The allegations of sexual assault and inappropriate behavior against Deshaun Watson are being investigated by the FBI. Damn. First it was just, civil lawsuits, and then they turned to criminal complaints, and now the FBI is like, hey, we want a piece of this investigation. Let's see what is truly going on here. So let's get into this article quickly here and see to what extent the FBI is going to be investigating. And folks, we know the NFL hasn't even really investigated this. We kind of been, reading along and keeping up with the story, and the NFL kind of investigates lastly. They let the criminal kind of investigations play out, and then after that's kind of at the end road, they do their own investigation. So the NFL is really not in the investigation game right now, but the FBI was like, yes, we want in. We're throwing our hat into the ring. Let's see what we can uncover. And if you're ever having the FBI investigate you, that's never a great sign. So let's see to what extent the FBI is playing up their part here. So here we go. The allegations of sexual assault and inappropriate behavior against Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson are being investigated by the FBI. Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, said Wednesday. Hardin also said that Watson spoke to the FBI about allegations of extortion regarding one of the 23 lawsuits filed against the quarterback, of which 22 are still active. Quote here by Deshaun Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, says, quote, in April, the FBI came to us and told us they were investigating a matter as to whether one of Mr. Tony Busby's clients, the one representing all those 22 civil lawsuits, whether one of Tony Busby's clients had committed extortion in the way they were demanding money from Deshaun, or what they would do if they didn't pay. Oh, so the FBI is investigating the women. Wow, the FBI is on Deshaun Watson's side now. They're like, hang on, this is extortion. We don't care about the sexual assault. We'll let that play out. But hey, if there's extortion here, we need to find that out. And that's kind of what they spoke to the FBI. And this was back in April. So now, we're months removed from this, and we haven't even heard about this. So real interesting here. Maybe nothing came of it. And now the story's just kind of gaining traction because, the investigation's over. But let's keep going here. Let's see what else we find out, because now we know that they were investigating kind of the women potentially extorting Deshaun Watson. And extortion's never great. If you pay in, they're always going to be asking for more money. And if you don't pay, then it's a national story and you got 22 women coming against you. So, it's a lose-lose situation whenever you're being extorted. So, I got no problem with the FBI kind of stepping in and being like, no, you can't be doing this. But another quote here by Rusty Hardin again. We were not the ones who contacted them. They contacted us. We talked to the FBI. We even let them interview Deshaun. And if y'all can find a lawyer that will let his client talk to the FBI, if the lawyer had thought his client had done anything wrong or had any exposure, then I'll be very, very surprised. And that is true. I mean, Deshaun Watson has really been upfront on everything, willing to kind of tell his side of the story, the truth that, what he's proclaiming as the truth. And he's really been very front forward here. He's been very, very cooperative with everybody, the NFL, the civil attorneys, the criminal charges with the police. He's been cooperating every single step of the way. And, lawyer brings up a very, very good point here. Like, we let this man talk to the FBI. If, we thought, hey, you could make, we think you're, we think you're innocent, but, you could hurt yourself if you do talk to the FBI. I mean, your lawyer is there to protect you. It doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty. That does not matter to your lawyer. They are there to protect you and make you not guilty in the eyes of the law. That is their job. So them willing to have Deshaun Watson talk to the FBI, once again, it's really seeming like Deshaun Watson may be innocent in this entire thing, and just unfortunate, he said, she said. We have to let it all play out to truly see what happened. What we are doing is just talking it through every step of the way when there's breaking information, but it's truly seeming like Deshaun Watson could possibly be pretty innocent here. This is real interesting, folks. Real interesting. Let's keep it up here in the article, and let's keep finding out some more things about what happened with this FBI meeting. On Friday, Busby, who represents the women suing Watson, told the League of Justice website, the League of Justice, what is this, superheroes? The League of Justice. Okay, who cares about the League of Justice? Told the League of Justice website that the FBI met with him to discuss Watson and spoke with several plaintiffs, saying, quote, this is Rusty Hardin again. I don't think they're investigating Deshaun. What they're investigating is the allegations Busby has made in his lawsuits. I didn't know about it until I didn't know about that until yesterday, and then I checked it out, and it's true. They are. Hardin reiterated that Watson will, quote, continue to cooperate with all parties involved with the investigation. Another quote here by Rusty Hardin, Deshaun Watson's lawyer, quote, we will continue to cooperate with the FBI in any way they want. We have from the first cooperated with the Houston Police Department, cooperated with the District Attorney's Office, and will cooperate with the FBI. And ultimately down the line, we'll cooperate with the NFL because we know Deshaun has done absolutely nothing wrong. So once again, just very, very cooperative and every single step of the way. There's something to say about that. I'm all for keeping your mouth shut. That doesn't make you guilty if you just keep your mouth shut. So I would have had no problem with him doing that. But he's free-flowing information. He's got nothing to hide. He's talking to everybody, and he's still not in jail. So it's kind of potentially working a little bit. All right, keep going here in the article. At his news conference, Hardin read what he said were text messages to Watson from the women he is accusing of extortion. Hardin said the text messages do not mention an alleged attack on December 28th, 2020 during a massage session that the women said she, quote, apologized for my actions. Busby told the Associated Press later Wednesday that Hardin is attacking the women who have sued Watson, saying Hardin is, quote, focused on trying to attack me or my clients, and I'm tired of it. Oh, now we got lawyers beefing over here. Last month, Hardin told ESPN's John Barr that 10 women have filed complaints about Watson with the Houston Police Department. 8 of the women, according to Hardin, are among the 22 plaintiffs who have filed lawsuits against Watson. Hardin said Watson has not spoken to the NFL as part of its investigation into the lawsuits, saying, quote, the NFL regularly tries to not reach out to the defendant and his lawyers and seek evidence from them until the criminal investigation is over. Folks, we've just said that as well, prefacing the story. Historically, they want to make sure they don't interfere with the criminal investigations. I've had no contact with the NFL except to call initially and say, whatever that time is appropriate, we will fully cooperate. So, Deshaun Watson, the FBI is investigating the women about extortion, and Deshaun Watson is still facing these allegations civilly and criminally now. But that's the latest update on Deshaun Watson, folks. The FBI is potentially looking at extortion here by the women. So we'll see what comes out of this. Deshaun Watson still doesn't want to play in Houston. Does a team take a chance on him? There's no way you're getting 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson now. It's done. We know that's kind of what the compensation has kind of been from the Texans. They want to get 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson is worth 3 first-round picks. I would have no problem with a team trading 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson when he's 100% healthy and when he's 100% innocent. That is when you are eligible to trade 3 first-round draft picks. But he is under investigation. We don't know if he's ever going to play this season. We don't know if he's ever going to play again. We don't know if this is just going to ruin his reputation if he does, in fact, get found guilty. But now there's no way you get 3 first-round picks. This is too much of a risk for 3 first-round picks. If you still want to give up 1, I would say I'm fine with 1 first-round pick on this risk because the upside is huge. This man is a masterful talent, folks. Let's bring up his stats really quickly here because they are absolutely phenomenal. We've said it multiple times. He led the league in passing yards last season, folks, when they were irrelevant. The Texans were an irrelevant team. All they had is Deshaun Watson. Everything else about this team is 100% irrelevant. They do not matter. And he still led the league in passing with 4,800 passing yards and 70% completion percentage and only 7 interceptions. That's one of the biggest things about Deshaun Watson. He does not turn the ball over. He already has like 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio for his entire career. He's only thrown 36 interceptions in his first 4 years, and he's only once thrown double-digit interceptions in a season with 12 in 2019. But I mean, folks, look at these completion percentage. I can't talk about his first year because he only started 6 games, but second year, 68% completion percentage, 4,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Beautiful stat line right there. 2019, 67% completion percentage, 3,800 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Once again, real solid stat line right there. And then last season, like we said, 70% completion percentage, 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Oh, and we forgot to mention, he's a dual threat quarterback, putting up 500 yards in 2018 on the ground, 400 yards both the last 2 seasons. So getting it done in the running game as well. Obviously not kind of a Lamar Jackson, or I think Kyler Murray's putting up a little bit more yards on the ground than Deshaun Watson is, but Deshaun Watson got a great cannon arm, and he's accurate as heck. You give up a first-round pick to play the odds, to play the chance that you may end up not winning the deal because he's in jail. So that's where we're at with Deshaun Watson. Truly worth a first-round pick. I don't think I would go more than 1. I don't think I give up 2 first-round picks. I give up a first, maybe a second in the same season or in the same draft, maybe that, but I don't think I do anything more than that, a first and a second in the same year for Deshaun Watson. But I wouldn't fault the team if they try to make that trade for like 3. I wouldn't fault them. I would understand it. It's just a big old risk and a big old meatball that will be held over whoever's decision it was, whether it was the coach or the front office, whoever initially makes that final decision will be like, all right, we're trading 3 first-round picks. Whoever makes that decision, you better hope he's not in jail. So that's where we're at with Deshaun Watson, folks. The FBI is getting involved, looking at extortion on the women's side. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers because this is the most we've ever gotten out of Aaron Rodgers ever, folks. I mean, we're hearing him kind of open up and, tell us what he wants, tell us what this Packers team has been doing. And I think we have to start kind of thinking in the mind of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, folks, he thinks of himself highly. I would assume Aaron Rodgers thinks he's smarter than most people. I know he's not going to say that. Nobody ever says that, folks. Once again, Tom Brady, 95% of what I say to the media is not what I'm thinking. And Aaron Rodgers, we know his personality. We know his traits personally because he's been in the media. He's a celebrity. He's a superstar. He's one of the best football players that there is right now, let alone one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. So we know this man for over a course of years, and given kind of the situations that he's put in. So we do know what Aaron Rodgers just kind of is overall personality-wise. And I think we have to start thinking in the mindset of Aaron Rodgers, and I think I've cracked the code a little bit here on him. So let's go into this article and read some quotes here by Aaron Rodgers. But the premise of this article is Aaron Rodgers not interested in a, quote, farewell tour, and he's focused on enjoying the 2021 season. So up to this point, we've been kind of saying that he's definitely not playing as a Green Bay Packer next season. We've been hearing him say, hey, I'm open to anything. I don't kind of close off anybody 100%. Relationships aren't built in a day, and we'll see how it goes, from here on out. And we do know now that the biggest issue that Aaron Rodgers has with the Packers overall, totality-wise, is just the front office in general manager Brian Guckinst. So that's what we know so far. So let's see what we get in this article and see if anything of that changes. And then we'll have our kind of little bit of a revelation that we just kind of came to yesterday that we think could potentially be what's going on here with Aaron Rodgers. But let's see what we get here. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers resolved their differences for 2021, but there isn't much certainty beyond this season. Rodgers knows this. He also doesn't want the Derek Jeter treatment. Says, quote, I don't want a farewell tour. I don't know what's going to happen after the season, but I'm going to enjoy it with the right perspective for sure and not look at it as I'm going through this. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of all of it. We get another quote here, so let's read the lead up. We got to go back one more. Here we go. The quarterback said he first got a taste of what it felt like to be living his final weeks with the Packers in 2020 when he realized that even if he won the league's most valuable player award and won the Super Bowl, he still wasn't looking at long-term security with the Packers. The chances of that disappeared as soon as Green Bay spent its 2020 first-round pick on Jordan Love. Rodgers instead decided to savor the moments he had left while fully knowing he didn't know how many would be ahead, saying, quote, the reason I approached it like this is I just knew when the pick was made that the clock had started for sure. And I thought unless there was something in the season that really made me feel like I'm going to be here past 2021, that maybe this would be my last year. I didn't want to be going into a year with some sort of as a lame duck, like I said. I didn't think that was fair to what I accomplished and what I mean to this team, and nothing really changed in that regard. I went into the offseason that it could have been it. I'm glad I enjoyed every moment. I'm glad that I led exactly the way I wanted to lead and looked for those conversations with certain guys that needed a pick-me-up at different times. I took the headphones off and enjoyed the surroundings and the road trips and the time with the guys. Yeah, it's a good template for sure. So, Aaron Rodgers, once again, still leaving up everything in the air. Hey, I'm just playing this season like I did last season, because last season I was kind of playing like it was my last season and I was enjoying everything, and then kind of it comes to this offseason where they renegotiate my deal and all that, so now I'm feeling a little bit better because of the organization side. So now Aaron Rodgers kind of thinking to himself, hey, if I come out publicly and say all this, hey, I was thinking about not playing last season, if I say the same thing, I can try and get everything I can out of this team before I'm leaving. We still believe Aaron Rodgers is still going to leave, but he's going to kind of play the game a little bit. He has the fans on his side. He has the entire media on his side. Everybody is on Aaron Rodgers' side. Everybody's pro Aaron Rodgers, and everyone's not pro the organization, because Aaron Rodgers is saying, hey, it was y'all that are kind of driving me to the ledge. I'm not jumping just quite yet, but I'm right here. I'm 1 foot off the ledge, and I'm kind of wobbling. Whoa, I might fall over. Somebody better, you better sign this man to kind of make me pull back a little bit. Oh, and I also need this, or I'm wobbling again. Hey, get this guy. Hey, do what I want, or I'm wobbling on the edge here again. Oh, you signed him. You signed Clay Matthews. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of a wobble back. Maybe I start to put my second foot back on the ledge and take it off of the ledge so it's not dangling over the murky waters of what is Aaron Rodgers' future in the NFL. But another thing I think Aaron Rodgers is potentially doing here is he's going to try and break the hearts of Packers. Like, we're going to kind of get this slow roll as the season progresses. Hey, At first in the offseason, it was like, hey, I'm 100% gone. And then the renegotiated contract. And then, the front office is starting to listen to him a little bit more. So now Aaron Rodgers is like, all right, yeah, I'm starting to kind of, I'm not saying I'm staying, but I'm not saying I'm leaving and out 100%. I'm giving it a chance. And I think as the season progresses, Aaron Rodgers is going to kind of play into a little bit more about kind of being like, I think it's getting better. Once again, never fully admitting he's staying, but alluding to he's staying and alluding to he's not going to be leaving, kind of getting the Packers to buy into him. And I think at the last moment, the last possible second, he pulls the ripcord, breaks the hearts of the entire organization, and says, no, I am out. Because we know Aaron Rodgers doesn't like to be disrespected. He's already been disrespected plenty of times here in Green Bay. We've heard it from his own mouth multiple times. Aaron Rodgers, and like we also know about Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't like to be disrespected, like we said, but once again, he kind of thinks he's a little bit sharper upstairs than most people. He thinks he's going to be able to play the Packers front office to give him everything and anything that he wants. So once again, using that, being like, hey, if you get this guy, maybe I'll stay. If you get this guy, maybe I stay. Not using those words exactly, just kind of using the media as his platform to kind of get his point across there. And then at the last second, where the Packers are like, hey, we've done everything for you. You kind of been alluding, hey, you still want to stay. Here's this big old deal. And Aaron Rodgers is like, no, I'm still gone. Goodbye. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers getting the last laugh. Fine, getting the last move. Hey, I made y'all think the entire year I was staying and made y'all acquire all this talent just for one last ride. Goodbye. Aaron Rodgers wants to get the final win here in Green Bay, and I think that's kind of what he's doing. Hey, I don't want the farewell tour because, hey, it's kind of maybe not my last year. I don't want this. Hey, I'm not saying it's my last year. I'm just enjoying every season. Like I did last year, where potentially could have been my farewell tour last year, but I didn't want the farewell tour. Didn't want it. So watch out for, we're going to be definitely tracking and watching Aaron Rodgers with the Hawkeye this season, absolutely 100%. But let's see how Aaron Rodgers' just kind of attitude and tone towards the team, towards leaving, towards saying how it goes the course of this entire season, because I think he's trying to kind of get the last laugh. I'm kind of staying. Everybody's, the fans buying in, the team's buying in, they're doing everything to save him, and at the last second, he pulls the rug out from under them. I get the last laugh. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I played y'all. I'm smarter than y'all. I made y'all do everything I wanted, and, I'm going to leave you. Because you disrespected me, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, can't get fooled again, folks. And Aaron Rodgers not getting fooled again here. So I'm still sticking that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play here for the Green Bay Packers next season. This is truly his last season here in Green Bay, the last dance picture. I really think that is 100% evidence that we have to truly weigh into here with Aaron Rodgers' kind of final decision here. And, Aaron Rodgers renegotiated the contract because he wants to get out as soon as possible. That was the deal. I come back, I end the holdout, so I can get traded next season, and I'll string y'all along this entire year. But I'm going to end up pulling this rug out really quickly, and I'm going to do it in the most dramatic fashion that there is. Watch out for that big ol' fireworks display. Everything that Aaron Rodgers has been planting and seeding here for the entire season, not just the preseason, not just the offseason, the entire week 1, the week 17, potential Super Bowl as well. Just watch for all those seeds to grow this season, and then he instantly sets fire to the crops. Goodbye, Green Bay. You did this to yourselves. I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I have won. I have won the long game. You may have won a couple of the battles here, but Aaron Rodgers, he'll win the war, folks. He's smart. You got to give Aaron Rodgers credit. He seems smart. I wouldn't want to be on Aaron Rodgers' bad side. I think he has a little bit of a vindictive personality, a little bit. He's going to win, folks. He's got everybody on his side. There's no way Aaron Rodgers can lose, and he knows it. He will win this war. He will leave Green Bay. He will also be made as the hero. And we'll see what happens and what team goes out and gets him and how he ends his career in Hall of Fame and potential greatest of all time resume. So watch out for what Aaron Rodgers does this season, folks. It's going to be really interesting. We've never seen him open up and be as transparent as he's been right now, and there's a reason for that, folks. There's got to be a reason for it. Aaron Rodgers seems like he does everything very calculatedly and does everything for a reason, folks. It's going to be good. I want this, folks. I'm not saying I don't want this. I want to see this. I want to see Aaron Rodgers set fire to the entire Green Bay organization. There'd be nothing better than that. And I would kind of respect him a lot more for that, honestly. So we'll keep an eye on Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the year, folks. Alrighty, let's go over this quickly here. I think Cam Newton's done, folks. I'm ready to be 100% done on Cam Newton. If you've kind of been, keeping track of the show, we're about 1% still. We have 1% stake, 1% stock still in Cam Newton, and we're trying not to sell that last percent. We're trying to hold on to that last percent as long as possible, but I think I'm ready to sell that last 1%, folks. But we get this here, an NFL insider is getting texts from Patriots sources saying how high they are on Mack Jones. And we kind of liked what we saw from Mack Jones in preseason game number 1. We get to watch him again today in preseason game number 2 when he goes and faces the Philadelphia Eagles tonight at 7:30 Eastern in Philadelphia, so we'll get a nice perspective on how Mack Jones handles an away game and all that, and just kind of learning from his mistakes. That's a key that we're focusing in on preseason week number 2. Are the players improving? Everybody, the team, are they improving? Are they putting up more points? Is the offense looking better? Is the defense stepping it up a little bit more? And how are all the rookies, playing in their second game? But a reason I want to kind of talk about this really quickly is because, and kind of compared to the Denver situation, because we just saw Teddy Bridgewater with the Broncos at quarterback competition, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, and we kind of know there's a quarterback competition here with the Patriots between Mack Jones and Cam Newton. Nobody's kind of saying anything. Everyone's kind of being really tight-lipped here in the Patriots organization. Obviously, Cam Newton's kind of billed as a starter heading into preseason, in the training camps of preseason and all of that, but it is kind of an unsaid thing that this is truly an open quarterback competition here. And if we tie it back into what we just saw in Denver, now, everything that we've been hearing about Denver, it's going to take all 3 preseason games. It's going to take all 3 preseason games. It's going to take all the practices. We're really going to use every single minute. But what have we just heard this week? Vic Fangio said, hey, it could be done by the end of preseason game number 2. And you would only kind of be like, hey, it could be over, the quarterback competition could be over by preseason game number 2 if you saw something actually great in preseason game number 1. Now, what did we see in preseason game number 1 of the Broncos? We saw Drew Lock be pretty solid, and but the most important thing that we saw was Teddy Bridgewater still dinking and dunking and not even taking the right reads. We saw multiple times where he dinked and dunked when there was something even better, wide open, not semi-open, not NFL open, which is like a half a step. No, something so wide open, and Teddy Bridgewater still checked it down. So we said then that we were kind of weighing Drew Lock ahead of Teddy Bridgewater, 55 to 45% overall if we put a percent on it. And what did we just so Vic Fangio saying, hey, if Teddy Bridgewater is still checking it down here, he's the starter here in preseason game number 2. If he's still checking it down, I'm ready to make Drew Lock the starter, and we're going to rock in preseason game number 3 with Drew Lock, shoring up our team for week number 1. Now, we go into the kind of this article right here, and we get this tweet. Right here. Where is this tweet? Yep, it's right here. Hang on. I had it. Here we go. Tweet here. Kevon Wallace, they're talking about Patriots practice here. Kevon Wallace yells at quarterback Cam Newton saying, quote, check down king after back-to-back dump-offs to running backs in 7-on-7. Next play, Wallace yells, running back, On cue, Newton to White in the flat. So once again, 3 straight plays of Cam Newton checking the ball down. And we saw Mack Jones air it out, be a little bit more aggressive than Cam Newton in preseason game number 1. So now this just gives more credence. Hey, we're not doing the checkdowns. Why are you checking down in practice? You're supposed to, use this opportunity to get better. Try to fit in those throws. Try, make the mistakes. We heard Zach Wilson say it for the Jets, rookie. Hey, this is where I'm supposed to make mistakes. Stop checking it down in practice. You're not getting better there. You're not testing your ability to fit it in the small windows that need to be made to complete a pass in the NFL. We just heard that from Tua. That was his struggle his rookie year. He didn't know what was open in the NFL from college because everything in college was so wide open. And, being half a step open is wide open in the NFL. And you need to make that pinpoint accurate throw to beat the defender. And Cam Newton not taking those opportunities. Mack Jones is taking those opportunities of not checking it down and pushing it down the field. I think this is truly a big old wide open quarterback competition, and I truly do believe that the Patriots are kind of leaning toward Mack Jones as being the starter here, folks, 100%. So you just got to check the checkdowns, folks. We don't like seeing checkdowns. I mean, we watch tape all the time. We watch quarterbacks all the time. We get you have to check it down sometimes. That is part of the game. You check it down. Maybe it's even a design check down. Take what you can get. I've got no problem. I'm not saying don't do that. But in practice, and if you keep on doing it, it doesn't result into wins. We just saw Teddy Bridgewater do it last season. His stats were great. He had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers. He had 4,000? I'm pretty sure I had 4,000 passing yards. If not, like 3,900, but I'm almost certain 4,000 passing yards and like 67% completion percentage. It leads to good stats. It does, but it doesn't translate to wins. They only won 4 games last year in Carolina, so we got dink and dunkers out here, folks. Cam Newton is dink and dunk, and I'm telling y'all, I'm about to. If I see one dink and dunk by Cam Newton today, I'm selling my last 1% on the man. I'm over it. I'm over Cam Newton. We've tried and tried to believe in him. We gave him the benefit of the doubt going into last season. It didn't really show us anything this year, and now we're not going to make the same mistake again. He's still dinking and dunking. Teddy Bridgewater is still dinking and dunking, and they are going to lose their job. They will not be the starter because they dink and dunk. Open it up in practice. Test yourself. Try to get better. Stop taking the checkdowns in practice. Make the mistakes. Who cares? Make the mistakes in practice. Nobody cares if you have a 5 interception day in practice. It will be a story for one day on Twitter. Other than that, it's washed away. And it's especially washed away if you come out and absolutely rock it in the regular season and be like, hey, I was just making the mistakes there to perfect my game, to get my game better. So if Cam Newton and Teddy Bridgewater are both thinking dunking, I don't even want to see him. And I'm not big. I'm decently large. I'm decently large on Teddy Bridgewater. But if you're dinking and dunking, I'ma sell ya. I'm about this close of selling Cam Newton. So truly believe this is an open quarterback competition here in the Patriots organization. Truly believe that an NFL insider is getting texts from Patriots sources saying how high they are on Mack Jones, and we get to see the man tonight. We get to see Cam tonight, hopefully as well, and we'll compare them. We'll break them down on the show tomorrow and see which quarterback's looking better, but we were a little impressed with what we saw from Mack Jones his first game out there, trying to push the ball down the field. Got to give respect to that. Let's quickly, before we move off of this, let's see what the odds of Mack Jones being the week 1 starter is, because he's been at a solid plus 250 really the entire offseason, never really changed. Even after the end of last game, preseason game number 1, he was still at plus 250. So let's see if he's still at plus 250 and if it's still a solid bet to take him to be the week 1 starter. So here we go. Mack Jones to take the Patriots' first snap in the 2021-2022 regular season. It's still plus 250, folks. Yes, for him being the week 1 starter. So I would kind of say this is a solid value bet right here. Maybe try to get it in now, lock it in today, because we do get to see what he does in a game scenario today. And if he's looking good, everything that we've been hearing, what's coming out from the Patriots, Mack Jones could be the week 1 starter, folks. So Mack Jones at plus 250, I think it's real solid value, folks. We're just talking about the strict value. Happens, doesn't happen, we'll see. But the value of everything that we're seeing and hearing, this is a good bet to take and some good odds to cash in now at plus 250, which is basically the highest. I mean, Oh, wow, look at this. They put the Denver Broncos. They didn't really put these on there. They were waiting. But Denver Broncos to take the week 1 start. Drew Lock is at minus 175, and Teddy Bridgewater's at plus 125. I'm staying away from this because we're big question marks on Teddy Bridgewater. We'll know more by the end of this week when they play their game. And as we all know, Justin Fields is still at plus 190. So Mack Jones is now the best kind of value here. Plus 250, the highest odds, the best way to make some money. And it's looking like it could potentially be a guarantee. I don't want to call it a guarantee. I'll call it an 80% guarantee. Or no, is that 80% too high? We'll call it 60. We'll go into preseason game number 2, 60% confident that Mack Jones will be the week 1 starter. I've got no problem saying that. So Mack Jones, folks, I hope he balls out. If he's good, I've got no problem with him being good. I didn't think he was going to be good. Honestly, I did not think he was going to be good in this league, but one preseason game, he's kind of sold me a little bit. We'll see if it keeps up. All right, let's move on here. And Andy Dalton, once again, acting secure as heck, folks. Secure as heck. So he goes to the podium yesterday after practice, and we get some quotes from him. We get one quote from him. A little bit of a lengthy quote, a telling quote, and a very confident quote, which that's what we've been hearing from Andy Dalton. So his confidence, hey, I got to give him credit for his confidence because he has not wavered in this. He said, hey, I'm told I'm the starter. I'm the starter right now. I'm the starter. Hey, I'm told I'm the starter. I don't care about Justin Fields. Yes, he's going to be good, but I'm the starter. So y'all focus on me. Don't try to push me out too quick. Look at me. I'm the quarterback now. So let's get this quote here by Andy Dalton. Here we go. Let's read the lead up quickly. Chicago seemed like the ideal fit for Fields to learn behind a veteran. Then training camp arrived, during which Fields grabbed plenty of attention and only added to it in his preseason debut. Truly that 100%. His stock has just been rising and rising and rising. After it really kind of fell, remember him going into draft day, kind of draft week? A lot of people were starting to sell him for whatever reason. We never folded on Justin Fields. It took us a little bit in the regular offseason before the draft even happened to really kind of buy into Justin Fields, but we got there, folks. We ranked Justin Fields, I believe, the number 2 quarterback here on our big board. Let's quickly take a double check. Quarterback big board, yeah, we had him number 2. We had Trevor Lawrence number 1, and we had Justin Fields number 2, above Zach Wilson, above Mack Jones, above Trey Lance. So we ended up buying into Justin Fields, but that lead up to draft, I don't know what it was. There was all these stories coming out about everybody kind of being scared to draft Justin Fields and saying, yeah, he's actually maybe not as good as that, first advertised. We never wavered on that. It was real weird. And then his stock was kind of at the lowest it's really been as he was drafted. And then, like this article just said, truly, I mean, every single day in off season and training camp in the preseason game, I mean, his stock has just been elevating and climbing ever since then. But let's get back to the lead up here. The combined results has some Bears fans clamoring for Fields. We're not even Bears fans, and we are truly clamoring for this man. For Fields to ascend to the role of QB1 at the start of the season. Dalton, meanwhile, has his own claim to be the coveted spot. After all, he was signed to be Chicago starter in 2021, so he's attempting to block out the noise. But he was also signed before the draft, before Justin Fields fell into the Bears' lap. I mean, folks, Justin Fields fell down, I believe, number 11. He fell down to number 11 when he was kind of projected early on to be the number 2 overall pick to go to the Jets, or even to go to the 49ers if the Jets didn't take him. But the Jets went with Zach Wilson, the 49ers went with Trey Lance, and Justin Fields drops to number 11, and the Bears are like, yeah, we need a quarterback. We're not going to rock with Andy Dalton for more than 1 year. Justin Fields looking good. Let's, get him up because we could be good next year and not get that kind of top 10 pick, top 12 pick, top 15 pick that is needed to get kind of a franchise, a kind of, just overall kind of classic franchise quarterback. One of the top names, obviously there's Brady's and Dak Prescott's going late in I get it, but, classic, hey, if you got a top 10 pick, the first couple of picks are quarterbacks, the main ones going kind of 1 through 10. So let's see what Andy Dalton says. He's confident, folks. And I like the confidence. I respect the confidence. I just don't like Andy Dalton with the confidence. Quote here by Andy Dalton, quote, "You can't focus on that. If if you focus on that, then it's going to beat you down. I know who I am. I know who I was created to be. Okay, weird to say that. I know who I was created to be. Okay. I know where my identity lies. Do I want the fans behind me in this team and all that kind of stuff? Yes. Do I want them behind Justin? Absolutely I do. But that's not my focus. I can't focus on all that right now. Like I said before, Justin's going to have his time. Justin's going to have his time kind of earlier. You're not even going to get your time. So be worried about your time. Don't worry about Justin's time. He's going to have his time. Yes, I agree. But it's going to come a little bit sooner than you think, I think. But back to the quote. Like I said before, Justin's going to have his time, and Justin's going to have a great career. But right now, it's my time, and so my focus is being on the best player I can be for this team and do everything I can do to help this team win. So once again, Andy Dalton saying, hey, yes, Justin Fields is going to have his time, but I'm the starter. I am the starter. He's very adamant about that, folks, and I guess he should be. Matt Nagy has told him that he is the starter. We do know that. We've heard that multiple times. There's a process. We heard there's a process going on, taking their time with Justin Fields. He's going through the process, but Andy Dalton has to know at some point this season. Andy Dalton, I will bet the entire show on this. I've got no problem betting the show on this, that Andy Dalton will not be the entire starter this entire season, folks. He will not start from week 1 to week 18. He will not play all 17 regular season games, and they won't even get to the playoffs in classic Andy Dalton fashion. So he will not play all 17 regular season games, folks. He will not start all 17 regular season games. He believes he will. He's very adamant that he will. I don't think he believes in Justin or really likes Justin as much as he's kind of once again putting out to the media. Once again, Tom Brady, 95% of what I say is not what I mean, not what I'm thinking. I think Andy Dalton's kind of doing that here. Hey, please shut the fuck up about Justin Fields. I get it. I see him every day. Y'all are not telling me anything new, but please shut the heck up. It's me. I'm the starter. Me, Andy Dalton. He's had his chance. Y'all know how we feel about him. We are not buying into Andy Dalton. His time is up and over. Folks, he had prime years in Cincinnati. It led to some all right records. I may not give him a lot of credit for his record. Maybe I should give him a little bit more credit. 10-win seasons are good, but they are kind of borderline good. I mean, when we're talking about a 10-win season, you're not winning the division with 10 wins. What won the divisions last season? I mean, 10 wins is like, hey, we're fighting for a wild card spot. Like the last wild card spot. Last season, Seahawks won the division at 12-4. Saints won the division at 12-4. Washington won at 7-9. I know that was the outlier season, folks, of the NFC East. I get it. So Andy Dalton would have flourished in the NFC East this season. Congratulations. But he didn't, honestly, because he was in the NFC East and he still only won 6 games. So even then, when you're supposed to flourish in a 7-win that won the division, you didn't. Damn. Packers won it at 13 wins. Titans won it at 11-5. Bills won it at 13-3. Steelers won it at 12-4. Chiefs won it at 14-2. So, I mean, when we're talking about 10 wins, yes, it's good. It's a good benchmark to hit, 10 wins. But we're talking about kind of last playoff spot available, wild card. And that's what Andy Dalton was, because we saw him get into the playoffs and lose first round every single time. That's not going to change, folks. Now, Andy Dalton's not going to finally catch his stride here at the end of his career on a new team that doesn't really have that many great offensive pieces. I mean, Allen Robinson's good. I do like Allen Robinson. But Andy Dalton was used to A.J. Green and Tyler Eifert at the tight end position. They have Cole Kmet here with the Bears, and I am a fan of Cole Kmet. I think he can get it done. But I think the overall offense of the Bengals was a little bit better than the overall offense of this Bears team. And it resulted into a playoff loss first round. And Matt Nagy cannot have that. We know what Andy Dalton is. He's a one-trick pony that's an average quarterback. He's an average quarterback. If you have a great team around him, he could get you to the Super Bowl. Could. Maybe not the Super Bowl, maybe an AFC championship game, maybe a championship game, his level of talent. But you also need a great team around them, and they don't really have that in Chicago. The offense is nothing dangerous. I'm not scared of this offense. It's an okay offense. I don't expect it to be spectacular, but if you add Justin Fields' dual threat ability, it could become spectacular. And Andy Dalton ain't got no legs. The man got no legs. So Andy Dalton, very confident I think it's going to come to a little bit of a shock to him, and this is kind of another thing that could play. There's a couple of things that are playing into Justin Fields potentially not being the week 1 starter. Matt Nagy, the first thing that's playing into that, Matt Nagy has to break the news to Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton's going to make it tough on Matt Nagy to break the news and kind of rescind on, hey, you told me I was a starter, now you're telling me I'm not. So, Andy Dalton saying, hey, I'm the starter. It's me. He's going to have his time, but right now it's me. I'm out here. I'm the guy. I'm going to get it done. We're going to get the wins. I'm going to get the wins. I'm going to provide the wins. Justin Fields will have his time in the future. So Andy Dalton is not making it easy on Matt Nagy to replace Andy Dalton. If Andy Dalton was out here, be like, you know what? If I start, great. If I don't, that's fine too. If I can mentor Justin Fields, if I can make Justin Fields better and make this overall Bears team better, I've got no problem with that. When Matt Nagy tells me my time is up to kind of ride the bench, I would be cool with that. It would make Matt Nagy's job easier to be like, all right, Justin Fields, you're the week 1 starter. But Andy Dalton holding to his sticking to his convictions here and, saying, hey, I'm going to make it as hard as I can on Matt Nagy to look me in the eye after he already looked me in the eye earlier and said, I'm the guy, and re-look me in the eyes and be like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be the backup. So Andy Dalton's doing that. Then we had a little bit of a groin injury with Justin Fields, which now we kind of know is not big. Just kind of sat out of yesterday's practice. But then we get this here today. Andy Dalton will play at least a quarter and a half in Saturday's preseason game, which is a lot more than he played. I think he only played for 1 or 2 series max. But he's going to play for at least a quarter and a half, according to Matt Nagy, in Saturday's preseason game. And then Matt Nagy says the Bears would turn to Justin Fields after that. So Justin Fields is still going to play this preseason game. That's great. The groin injury is nothing to kind of get concerned with. And we are going to see more from Andy Dalton. So if Andy Dalton truly wants to be the starter here, have a flawless game, once again, make it hard on Matt Nagy to name Justin Fields the starter. So we'll see how he plays. Andy Dalton, you better step it up, man. If you really want to be the starter, if you truly believe you will be the starter, you better get it done. Saturday, preseason. All right, let's keep moving on here. All right, we now can cross off another suspect on our quest to find out who Tom Brady was motherfuckering. We know it's not Derek Carr. That's the only name that we can officially cross off the list. We believe it's Mitch Trubisky. That's the only quarterback that really truly makes sense in our opinion. But Tom Brady just eliminated another suspect that I never really had on my radar. I never even had Derek Carr on the radar. The media made that up for some reason. But this other quarterback now can be officially crossed off the list, and I'm glad. Here we go. Bucks, Tom Brady says Ryan Tannehill wasn't the subject of the motherfucker comment. So I don't think it would be Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is a solid quarterback in this league. He's an above average game manager. He can get the job done if you have a solid other couple of pieces around you, offensively or defensively. He's not an A1 tier 1. He can't lead you to the Super Bowl all by himself. He is not one of the best passers. He's not a tier 1 quarterback. Well, he may be a tier 1 because he's an above average game manager. He'd be on the low side of the tier 1 quarterbacks in this league, but he's never thrown for 4,000 yards. Or maybe he has. Maybe he's done it once. Let me get that up really quickly here. I don't want to be throwing out accusations like this. But, I mean, we've seen what he's done the last 2 years, throwing for like 3,000 yards, letting kind of the running game do the bulk of the work, him just kind of being that game manager, not losing any games for the team, delivering the ball accurately, not taking all the risks. We saw him in the AFC Championship game in 2019, never really got it done because that's what Ryan Tannehill is. He can't single-handedly win you the game. When the Chiefs shut down the running game in the 2019 playoffs, and Tannehill couldn't outthrow to win the game. So Ryan Tannehill threw for 4,000 yards twice in Miami. Once again, never really a great running game in Miami. And then the last 2 years, 2,700 yards in 2019, but he only started 10 games. That was when they moved off of Mariota. And then he threw for 3,800 yards last season, which is still good. We're not going to knock that, but it's not like that 4,000. We really want to see you 4,000 passing yards if you want to be considered an A1 tier 1 quarterback in this league. So we're not knocking Ryan Tannehill. We believe he gets it done. I don't think Tom Brady would take a shot at Ryan Tannehill either. We've seen some success here with Ryan Tannehill with the Titans. Once again, a perfect fit for the man. So we can officially cross off Ryan Tannehill on the motherfucker comment, which once again just kind of points to Mitch Trubisky. I mean, we're eliminating all the quarterbacks, and then we're officially we'll eventually be left with just Mitch Trubisky on the list, and nobody will come out and say it, but we'll say it. Mitch Trubisky was the motherfucker comment. Alrighty, let's go into this, and I wanted to spend some good time on this. Unfortunately, we probably can't. Once again, going long in the show. I got no problem with it, though. Do y'all got a problem with it? Because if you do, come see me. Come to the studio. Come down to the studio and say it to my say it to my face. But here we go. The 49ers, unfortunately, are waiving quarterback Josh Rosen. Unfortunate. The first-round pick will be looking for his 5th team now in 4 years. How unfortunate for Josh Rosen, who is now, we have to kind of say, is the biggest bust. He's one of the biggest busts in NFL history, probably the biggest bust since Ryan Leaf. Josh Rosen, number 1 overall, and thrown into the trash after 1 year. We don't see that anymore, folks. We never see that. I mean, Josh Rosen has really set the bar of not good. How unfortunate. And not only did he just get cut, but he has officially he officially went unclaimed on waivers, and now he's a free agent. So nobody even picked him up. He's a free agent. Don't really see him going anywhere else. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is officially done. I mean, if you couldn't, he worked with the kind of practice squad with the Bucs. Couldn't learn anything from Tom Brady. Learned under Kyle Shanahan as the 49ers. Once again, couldn't learn anything for that. So it's like, ooh, can we even give this man a 6th shot here? Like we're learning from some of the best here in the game, and you still can't get better. So Josh Rosen, unfortunately, looks a little unfixable. How unfortunate. But I quickly want to see, should we have seen this coming? Should we have seen Josh Rosen not being good, or did he just truly fool everybody? Obviously, we've started this show just last year, so we weren't here in 2015, 16, 17 when he was in college to give our takes on Josh Rosen. But let's go back to his college stats. Let's quickly watch some highlights on the man and just see, should we have seen him not being good coming? So let's go back to his college stats very quickly here. 2015 with UCLA, 60% completion percentage, 3,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. 60% is a little scary in college if you're only completing 60%. Like 60% is not even good in the NFL. So we know it's got to be better in college because defenses are not good. He got to a bowl game in 2015. Remember, we really regard bowl games as a huge point in your college resume. If you are going to be good, you have multiple weeks to get prepared for it. You're facing another kind of even level team compared to you, and you got to go get it done, because we know in college majority of the teams are trash because it is college. There's a lot of them, and there's not that many good players overall. Teams have maybe 1-2 good players on their team. So let's see what Josh Rosen did his first bowl game. Here we go against Nebraska. He loses. Unfortunate. Let's see what the score was here. First bowl game, they lose, not bad, 37-29, so a one-possession game, but he threw 65% completion percentage, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. That's not great. Everything else was great till those interceptions, and that truly ruined it, especially in a one-possession game. You gave away 2 opportunities, so real upsetting there. Were any of these pick sixes that we can quickly take a look at? Does not seem like it, but still those 2 interceptions, not great. Now let's look at his counterpart here in the bowl game. Did he get outplayed? So we went up against Tommy Armstrong Jr. of Nebraska. This was UCLA versus Nebraska. And Tommy Armstrong put up 63% on only 19 passes, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. So overall, not truly better, but didn't turn the ball over. Let the run game help him out a little bit more. So that was year number 1 for Josh Rosen. Nothing really great. Then year 2, only played 6 games. Didn't get to the bowl game. 59% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. 5 interceptions in 6 games. Not the greatest there. And then he comes back for 2017. 62% completion percentage, 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Once again, nothing great. These are not great numbers, folks. The completion percentage scares me very much because we got Sam Darnold in the league for the last 3 seasons with the Jets. doing this exact same completion percentage. A little bit worse overall, honestly, because Sam Darnold, the most he's thrown, the highest completion percentage he's thrown in the NFL was 61%. So, yeah, we don't believe in Sam Darnold either, folks. But he got to a bowl game in 2017. Let's see what he did here. Did he get better here? Okay, finally. That's okay. He beat California in this bowl game. They ended up winning. Was it a blowout? Let's quickly take a look. We got, they won by 3. Okay, lucky win. They last second field goal. Okay, leading them down the field with 2 minutes left. We'll give them credit. But they win 30-27 against Cal. But I mean, he only threw 18 times, so it kind of took the ball out of his hands. The lowest that he threw all season, folks. I mean, look at these attempt numbers, folks. For the 2017 season, we're just gonna rattle them off, week 1 through week 10. 59 attempts, 25 attempts, 56, 60, 45, 34, 36, 21, 46, 52, and then 18 was the bowl game. So not really trusting him that much in the bowl game. He had 72% completion percentage, which is really good. 202 yards, which is really good. And 2 touchdowns, which is really good. And no picks, which is really good. It's just they didn't really trust him to go out and win the game. But they did win the game. All right, so overall college stats were not good. Let's quickly take a look at a couple of highlights here and see just how he's passing the ball here and how he's scoring. We got some ultimate highlights. Josh Rosen, ultimate highlights on Twitter. So we're going to take this as the gospel. So let's quickly take a look. Here we go. First one from the opponent's 10-yard line, dink, 5-yard dink. Tight end runs for the next 5 yards for the touchdown. That's a dink. All right, here we go. Next play up. Play action pass from his opponent's 40-yard line. A nice strike over the middle of the field for 20 yards. Wide open, though. Okay, here we go. Next throw. Over the middle of the field for about 15 yards. Once again, pretty wide open. So not really airing it out. Dink and dunks. Here we go. From the 10-yard line. Open in the end zone. We give him credit. Another dink off here. That's unexciting. Here we go. From his own 30-yard line. Going deep. Here we go. Wide open, short. I mean, he underthrew the heck out of this ball, folks. Wide open, underthrew this ball. I mean, look at this. I mean, you've put this one way out in front of the wide receiver to have him run under it. This is a wide open touchdown. He shorts it. Receiver has to wait, and then he gets tackled. And this is not a long throw, folks. This is not like, well, you know, he maxed out at 65 yards. Let's count the yards on this one. He's going to throw this one from his own 25-yard line, getting it all the way down to the 40. So, I mean, we're talking about 25 plus another 10. We're talking about 35 yards. I mean, nothing great there, folks. Definitely should have been more out in front. Another dink off. 5-yard dink off. What else do we get here? From his own 30, steps up in the pocket, dink off. These are ultimate highlights in their dink offs. What are we doing here? Do we fault the maker? Another dink off here. He put it in a great position. I'll give him the accuracy right here. That was great. But it's still not a deep throw. Josh Rosen here going deep. Here we go. Oh, this is a pretty good throw. I'll give him this one. This is an ultimate highlight. We'll call it from his own 30, getting it all the way down to the 30, 40 yards, add an extra kind of 2, 3, 4 yards there. That's a decent throw right there. Solid. First good one. Here we go on the right sideline, wide open, uninterested. Here we go, escaping the pocket here, keeping his eyes down the field. I like that. Oh, this is a beautiful ball right here. This is a great throw. 35 yards. Perfect. Pressure right in his face, keeping his eyes down the field. Decently open, but still put it right on the money. That's a great throw. This is a dink. Don't got to rewatch a dink, I'll tell you that. Wide receiver screen here. Why is this in the ultimate highlight package? What are we doing here? Because these are his ultimate highlights. Running back screen. What are we doing? Here we go. Over the middle of the field, 10 yards, 15 yards, wide open. Come on, we got to see something else good here. I mean, he's not really selling us in these highlights, folks. Wide open there. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yes. Oh, now this is how you start. This is what you should start with. 3rd and 17. Throwing it from the opposing team's 45-yard line, getting it all the way down to the 10. We'll call it 5. Great coverage right here. That is an absolutely perfectly thrown ball. Jeez Louise. This is a great play. We've gotten like 3 so far. All the others are dink and dunks. Nothing impressive. Here we go. From the opponent's 7-yard line. It's a good throw, but, you know, it's one that should be made. I mean, should we be getting too excited over these ones? No. Once again, 3 yards from the end zone, wide open, easy peasy. So, I mean, he's never really sold us. This could be good. I don't know if this is greatly thrown. This is a great adjustment by the wide receiver and a bad job by the corner of not looking where the ball is, throwing off 1 foot. It's athletic. I'll give him that. Is it a good throw? It's a throw. It's an athletic throw. That's picked off in the NFL. Easy. All right, here we go from the 3-yard line again. So, once again, I mean, if we, hindsight obviously is always 20/20, obviously. But, Josh Rosen. I don't know, man. 62% completion percentage. Y'all bet on that? That's a mistake. I've got no problem calling that a mistake. So, Josh Rosen, folks, I mean, truly an unfortunate story. He will go down as one of the biggest busts of all time, and that's nothing you want to be associated with. So, truly, truly, truly unfortunate by Josh Rosen, folks. Released. He's a free agent. I don't see anybody picking him up. He's had multiple, projects, multiple attempts to learn under good coaches, players, and he's just not there. How unfortunate. The Josh Rosen story. Unfortunate. The Josh Rosen story. Truly. Alrighty. Let's talk about this Raiders team because this Raiders offense, folks, I'm telling y'all, I'm not sure about the defense. I'm still not sold on John Gruden, but the offense, sheesh, could be absolutely magnificent, folks. And it was magnificent yesterday in training camp against the Rams. The Raiders and Rams are having joint practice because the Raiders are facing the Rams this week in preseason, which is, not unusual for teams to do that. But the Raiders were getting the best of this Rams defense, and going into the season, the Rams defense is kind of rated as one of the top defenses in the league. Whether you want to call it number 1, whether you want to call it number 3, 5, 10, in the top 10, I've got no problem with anything. But the Raiders offense got the better of it. So Derek Carr impressed coaching in the Rams practice with multiple deep throws to Hunter Renfro, Darren Waller, and Henry Ruggs. So Derek Carr, we are a believer in Derek Carr. We believe this man can get the job done. We believe in him as a passer. We do not believe he is the kind of person that is weighing this Raiders team down of their lackluster number of wins the last couple of seasons. We think that comes from the coaching staff. But we digress. But Derek Carr throwing fantastic, and you still need to have, receivers getting open. And, they've got Jalen Ramsey. They have Aaron Donald pressuring, up front. So you're getting time off the line. Derek Carr is throwing in the face of adversity, and the receivers are getting open with a solid backfield, solid defensive backs that the Rams have on their team. And we love Hunter Renfro. We like Hunter Renfro. We love Darren Waller, the tight end, and Henry Ruggs we are a believer in. So 3 great, speedy, some are tall, wide receiver, pass catchers, we should say, because Darren Waller is a tight end, even though he's basically a wide receiver at the tight end position, him and Travis Kelce and Kyle Pitts and George Kittle. But they were all getting it done yesterday against the Rams, and that's a huge, great sign offensively. Now let's quickly go in this article and see what everybody was saying about training camp yesterday on this Rams team and how they were getting it done and beating the good defense that is the Rams. So let's see what everybody's saying. We get quotes here by Hunter Renfro. We get Derek Carr. We'll see if Darren Waller makes an appearance as well. So here we go. All right, here we go. We know it was hard for us to believe, too. Now we got to go back. Here we go. Hunter Renfro reportedly got the best of one of the top corners in the NFL during the Raiders' joint practice sessions with the Rams on Wednesday. We know it's hard for us to believe. Now, let's go back. Let's go to Hunter Renfro stats, because are we sleeping on Hunter Renfro? Is the media sleeping on Hunter Renfro? Let's get up his stats from last season. Because I believe, I don't know, to call it surprising, I don't know. That might be a little disrespectful. Last season, 656 yards, receiving 2 touchdowns. He had 72% catch percentage. I mean, that's real solid. Obviously, I would assume that Henry Ruggs had more yards and targets. Let's get up Henry Ruggs' career stats. We know Darren Waller got more targets. He had 1,000 yards receiving last season. Henry Ruggs, I don't care about his college stats. Do not bring that up. Here we go. Pro. Here we go. Oh, Henry Ruggs only had 400 yards. Okay. So Hunter Renfro, okay, kind of the main option here. So 600 is a little light for him. But 72% catch percentage is real solid. I do like that. All right, so maybe I give him surprising a little bit. Okay, I agree now. I kind of agree, a little bit agree. Let's get back to the article. Here we go. We know it was hard for us to believe too, but that's the consensus from those viewing practice at Thousand Oaks, California, where Renfro was said to have beaten Jalen Ramsey on multiple occasions. And, Jalen Ramsey is highly regarded as the number one corner in the league. I've got no problem with that. Sparking plenty of buzz in countless internet memes before the Raiders and Rams even finished their practice. Renfro just sees it as a good day at the office and a possible sign of things to come. Renfro says, quote, "If I can beat Jalen Ramsey, then I can beat anybody in the NFL because he is one of the best. That's how I approach it. He got me a couple of times, and hopefully tomorrow we make each other better again." And that's why they use the joint practices. The Raiders don't have a Jalen Ramsey on their team, a Jalen Ramsey quality corner. They don't have an Aaron Donald type pass rusher, so that's why they do joint practices with teams they are going to be facing in preseason. Usually they don't face in the regular season either, so you're not giving away your trade secrets that can come back and bite you when they use this tape to their advantage to try and beat you in the regular season. So everybody has really nothing to lose in joint practices and really everything to gain. And having Hunter Renfro go against Jalen Ramsey, and he puts it exactly perfect here. Hey, if I could beat Jalen Ramsey, I could beat anybody because he's highly regarded as the number one cornerback in the league. Let's keep up with this article here. We're going to get a quote here by Derek Carr, so let's read the lead up here. The 5'10", 185-pound former Clemson walk-on has been a productive target in his first two NFL seasons, breaking 600 receiving yards in each campaign. We just talked about that. But we typically didn't see Renfro do this against an elite defensive back, which he did on Wednesday, albeit out of the slot, saying, quote, by Derek Carr, "He doesn't get enough credit for how straight-lined fast he is. I don't think his 40 time, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was doesn't do it justice. He's fast. He can run. And just as fast as he can go that way, he can go this way. There's a lot of guys that can have straight-line track speed, but Hunter, the thing that makes him different, not only the side-to-side speed, is that he knows what route is running. Obviously, he sees the coverage. He knows how it's set up. He knows exactly what I want him to do, and he literally does it every single time. So once again, the offense is just building, upon each other. We're getting nice chemistry with these players being with each other for a couple of seasons. I believe Henry Ruggs is going into year 2. Darren Waller's going into year 5, but 3 with the Raiders. Maybe year 4 with the Raiders. And like we just said, Hunter Renfro going into year 3. So everybody's kind of having more rhythm, timing down, and like we said, they've got great size and speed. Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfro, both absolutely speedsters out here. Not the tallest, neither of them are 6 foot, but that's where Darren Waller comes in at 6'6", and he has the speed. So they have nice weapons everywhere, size, speed, strength, all over the field, and that makes it hard to defend when you've got multiple options and great different aspects to a wide receiver's game that makes them elite, size, speed, strength, and they have that all across the board. So everybody's getting comfortable. Once again, why we can buy this Raiders offense a ton right now. All right, we get a couple more quotes here by Derek Carr, so let's read a lead up right here. Renfro does deserve credit, though, for working his way from a Clemson walk-on to a productive target with the Raiders, who seems to believe he's the perfect type of player to fit the culture they're building. Quote here by Derek Carr, "Be a guy that runs the right route, but shred the guy, set him up, understand the coverage, set that up, show him what he wants to see, and then come across that kind of stuff." The thing I love about Renfro the most is that he sees it just the way I do. And I think this is why there is so much trust there when you throw to him. Renfro's 148 career targets tells us Carr trusts him plenty, saying, quote, "Jalen is one of, if not the best corner in the NFL," talking about Jalen Ramsey. So I think that gives us a lot of confidence in Hunter. It gives me confidence to know that he can beat good corners. Jalen is sticky. I mean, tight windows. Guys have to separate, and Hunter did a good job against him. I told Hunter on the bus ride back here, I said it gives me confidence that I can cut it loose even sooner, knowing that you are going to fight for me against good corners. So once again, if Derek Carr is more confident out here, we do need to see him put up a little bit more points. We do want to see his touchdown totals get up a little bit more. They are kind of low 20s-ish, and they do have to kind of be, we would like to see you in the 30s. But, Hunter Renfro and the Raiders offense should be looking great. Derek Carr is truly trusting Hunter Renfro. Hunter Renfro is beating Jalen Ramsey. All good signs to come. I know it's in practice settings, folks. It goes unsaid. And we'll see if they can continue to do it here in the regular season. If they can continue to do it for the longevity of the season, because we know they do kind of flounder at the back end the last two seasons. So, Raiders, they have the potential. They have it on paper. Let's see if they can go out and execute it this year. All right. Next thing up, alrighty, the Washington football name, folks. We have some ideas back here. Washington has officially unveiled their final 8, which they have narrowed down to their final 3, but they don't tell us what their final 3 is. So let's talk about them, folks. These are the names that one of these names is going to be the Washington football team's new name come next year when we know they are going to make it official. So here we go, folks. The genius names that they've had 2 years to think about. This is what they've come up with, folks. One of these will be chosen. Here we go. The Washington Armada. The Washington Brigade. The Washington Commanders. The Washington Defenders. You can't use that one because it's DC Defenders and what was it? The XFL, the AFL, whatever, one of those organizations that popped up over the last 3 years. So you really can't even do Defenders because it's DC Defenders. Can't do Defenders. So we have to instantly knock that one off. That one's not even a choice, honestly. We get the Washington Presidents. Kind of really generic. Washington Red Hogs. Washington Red Wolves, Washington football team. So they're not going to keep the name. I don't think they're going to keep their name. I don't think they're going to go with Defenders. So really we're kind of down to the 6, Armada, Brigade, Commanders, Presidents, Red Hogs, and Red Wolves. Are any of these great? No, we really like the Red Spears. We've kind of been keeping up with this, with the name situations, from a year ago when the story first broke and kind of everybody giving their input. We liked the Red Tails was interesting, paying kind of tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen, which we thought was a solid name. We also liked, there were some also other ones. Let's bring up these that we talked about. The Red Tails, the Red Hawks, real solid. The Washington Monuments, I wouldn't mind that one either. And the Washington Warriors, not bad with that alliteration either. So there were some other good options there. We really liked the Red Spears in the concept and the logo. We really thought it was fantastic. Unfortunately, they don't want any Native American imagery for some reason. And I don't know. They don't want their natural heritage. Okay. But yeah, I mean, these names, what is an Armada anyway? Let me get it. An Armada's a car. Armada's a car, folks. It's the which one is it? Is it a Nissan Armada? Maybe Nissan. Nissan Armada. It's a car, folks. You want the Washington SUVs? I mean, this is what we want. It's a nice looking car. Don't get me wrong. I've driven in one, folks. It's fantastic. Well, I've rode in one. I have not driven one. They're luxurious. I will say that. Nice leather seats, nice interior, plenty of legroom. It's a great car. I'm not gonna knock it. But I mean, is this what we're gonna go with? And then they partner with Nissan. I mean, what are we doing? But an Armada, a fleet of warships. And I thought we were kind of getting away from the negative imagery that the Native Americans are kind of associated with. That's kind of the main point. They didn't want the Redskins. It was not kind of politically correct with the Native Americans, and they didn't want to do kind of Red Spears because it has negative connotations to it. Armada's a fleet of warships. So you really can't do that either. A fleet of warships. The Armadas. So can't do that. So we have to narrow down. We have to eliminate defenders. Washington football team, Armada. What's a brigade's just like a unit, right? Let's get up a brigade. I think it just means a unit. Let's see what this is. An organization with a specific purpose. A subdivision of an army, typically consisting of a small number of infantry battalions. So once again, you're still kind of going with the aggressive connotations of war and, the Native Americans. That kind of has the negative connotations, once again, what they're trying to stay away from. So you can't really do Armada, can't do Brigade, Defenders, Washington football team, Commanders, once again, maybe you could do. I really think the best one, I don't really like the Presidents, really generic, and I mean, all the history that's been going on here in the U.S., I mean, are we really going to be, uplifting these last couple of presidents that we've been having? I don't know if we can do that. So, I mean, really, there's only 3 options here. And, if I have to kind of take my 3, they have listed this list of 8 down to 3. I would say those would be the Red Hogs, the Red Wolves, and the Commanders. And the Red Hogs, I mean, that just doesn't sound intimidating. Oh, we got the Red Hogs. The Red Hogs are coming to town. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of that. The Red Wolves, oh, okay, that's a wolf, baby. I'm not messing with no wolf. So Red Wolves, yeah. So Commanders, once again, generic, kind of sounds like an arena football team, an XFL team, not an NFL professional highest level that there is a football team. So it's really looking like it's going to be the Red Wolves, which isn't bad. We'll see what the logo is. Maybe could get behind it. Honestly, I would like them to just drop the red and just go Wolves and just kind of imply that it's red with this, with your same color scheme and with the logo. Is there any team that's got like a defined color in the name? I mean, no. What you don't need the color in the name. It's not Philadelphia Green Eagles. We know they're green by their logo, and we know they're green by their jerseys. You don't need to do the Red Wolves. Washington Wolves. You get the alliteration. Sounds pretty good. You don't need to be specific. Green Bay Packers. I guess you got me there. But that's kind of, the location. Detroit Lions. What else? I mean, Jacksonville Jaguars. You can just do the animal. You don't need the color. I don't think we like the color. It's not the Baltimore Purple Ravens. We know they're purple by their logo. We know they're purple by their jerseys. The Bengals. We know the Bengals are orange by the name of the animal and by the logo and the colors of their uniform. So I would just say drop the red. Stop with the red. We know you're all red. You don't have to change your color. Washington Wolves, alliteration, rolls off the tongue. Oh, we got the Wolves? Damn, the Wolves are coming. Jeez. Oh, the Red Wolves are coming. What's a Red Wolf? Are they more dangerous? Let me get the Red Wolves up. What do we got here? Red Wolves. Is that even a type of wolf? Red Wolf, here we go. The Red Wolf is a canine native to the southeastern United States. Is Washington southeastern? I think it is, right? Yeah, that's southeastern. That makes... Okay, maybe we are making a little sense here. Southeastern, that's kind of where Washington is. It is intermediate between the coyote and the gray wolf and is very closely related to the eastern wolf of eastern Canada. The red wolf's proper taxonomic classification has been contentious for well over a century and is still under debate. But because of this, it is sometimes excluded from endangered species list despite its critically low numbers. All right. Red wolf. It's not even red. They just say red wolf. Okay. This is what it's looking like. Classic wolf. I wouldn't be able to tell. Wolf is a wolf to me. All right. So we'll see what they come up with their name, but it's going to be one of these, folks. We'll see which one they go with. Nothing great. Red Spears, man, that was so great. Pays classic heritage to their culture, the Native Americans, Washington Redskins, the Native Americans. That's what the, Redskins was imaging there. Obviously not the most sensitive name. I don't think it's like a bad name. I just think it's a dumb name. It's like, their skin color is a little reddish tint. I mean, there's white people, there's black people because of their skin color, and there's, the Native Americans are a little on the reddish side. I don't think that's mean to say. It's just an observation. White, black, a little red. But I just think, Redskins was just a dumb name overall. I mean, we don't call, it's not like, why would you name, it's like you naming a person. It's like the Washington Whiteskins. It's like, what? Okay. The Washington Blackskins. It's like, it's just a weird name overall for something. So I still think you could pay homage to your history of, the Washington Native American team by doing Red Spears. I don't think it puts them in a negative light. I mean, history, it's obviously not the greatest, and that's in every aspect. I mean, we don't have to harp on the negatives, but that's what they're trying to do here. So this is their list, folks. Obviously nothing great, and we'll see which one they finally decide on, but we'll see. Alrighty, once again, running a little late in the show, so let's just kind of go through these quickly here, folks. Here we go. Once again, the taunting penalty is in full force here, and even practice, they're throwing flags. This one may be a little granted. But at Panthers-Ravens joint practice, Carolina cornerback Dante Jackson picked off Lamar Jackson, and on the sideline erupted. Shaq Thomas picked up the ball and punted it. The ref threw the flag. You can't really punt the ball. That would get taunting in the regular game anyway. But it's just annoying that it's still prevalent. Annoying. All right, we got a nice clip here from Jalen Reagor, wide receiver for the Eagles here. And oh my sheesh, man, one-handed spinning, twirling grab here. They're working in the red zone, folks. They start at the 5-yard line, and he gets great separation here. Beautifully thrown ball, perfectly thrown ball. And, well, maybe not even a perfectly thrown ball. It's a good thrown ball. It's a 50-50 ball that Jalen Reagor goes up and gets one-handed spinning, twirling. And if you need a frame by frame, no worries. We got a frame by frame right here, folks. Jeez Louise, will you look at this one-handed twirling catch? I mean, it's fantastic, folks. So Jalen Reagor getting it done, and the wide receiver core for the Eagles should be pretty solid, and we believe in Jalen Hurts. All right, we also get a clip here from Jalen Waddle getting it done here, and this is separation. Jamar Chase, if you're looking at how to create separation, take a playbook out of Jalen Waddle because he absolutely burned this Atlanta Falcons defender here. Look at this, got 5 yards of separation on the break. He breaks off the route, and he creates 5 yards of separation, sending the defender flying because he's so shifty and so fast, and we've been hearing great things out of Jalen Waddle here out of training camp, and we get to see it, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, let's talk about Simi Fehoko. Simi Fehoko, he's a name that we do want to look for. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen him in preseason or in Hard Knocks. Come on, Simi, get that camera time in Hard Knocks. So we get a nice play right here. Not a perfectly thrown ball, a little bit too much out in front. But this just shows Simi Fehoko is not afraid to go up and get the ball. And that's what we loved about him in college. He would go up and get the ball. We loved it. 5th round pick, I believe, this season. So not like high up. And we really want to see him emerge big time. Kind of a sleeper that we are watching. But a great catch here in the preseason game against the Cardinals. Unfortunately, once again, didn't make Hard Knocks. But, proving going over the middle. Not afraid to kind of sacrifice his body. Go up and get the ball, and he gets a nice little catch there. So we'll see what he can do in preseason game number 3 coming up this week. All right, then we get this. We get Caleb Farley versus Mike Evans. Now, Caleb Farley is a, corner rookie here, and he's going against Mike Evans. Now, this play's been on social media here. And this isn't the best thrown ball, so, Caleb Farley, he gets a lot of credit because he broke up this ball, but it's underthrown, and, Caleb Farley did kind of get beat by Mike Evans right off the rip. Quarterback underthrows this ball to give Farley a chance to kind of undercut it and break up the ball, so it's not an overall great play, and we'll see if Caleb Farley can keep getting better working against wide receivers like Mike Evans here in training camp and all that, which is obviously great looks for him. but he did kind of get beat on this throw here. Luckily, it was underthrown, so we'll keep an eye on Caleb Farley. All right, then we get Calvin Ridley. Oh, my goodness. He's getting his kind of revenge. Jalen Waddle burned the Falcons defender, and now Calvin Ridley's turn to burn the Dolphins starting corner Byron Jones out here. So Calvin Ridley puts on an absolutely great move right here, creates 5 yards of separation in the end zone, and it's an easy-peasy touchdown pitch and catch out here. Great. Byron Jones did kind of cover him on the first move that Calvin Ridley had, but then Calvin Ridley put on the second move. Ankle breaking move right here. 5 yards of separation just on the move alone in the back of the end zone. Absolutely fantastic. And we know Calvin Ridley's great, folks. I mean, we're not even questioning the man. We know he's going to be absolutely fantastic this season. Alrighty, then quickly here, Patrick Mahomes and the starters will play about a half of the preseason game this week of Chiefs-Cardinals, which is just once again interesting because we just heard about the Bucs sitting Tom Brady this week of preseason in the starters, but they played Tom Brady preseason game number 1. So just different philosophies out here and how people go and how coaches go about who plays, who doesn't, how long they start, for how long, for how many consecutive games and all that. So just an interesting note to keep in mind. Patrick Mahomes is playing this week. Tom Brady is not. Also, Jordan Love is not going to be playing this week because of a little bit of a shoulder injury that he sustained here in training camp practice. And once again, kind of the Packers lucking out that they were able to get Aaron Rodgers back to the table because Jordan Love has not been panning out. He didn't look great preseason game number 1, and now he's injured with the shoulder and not able to play in preseason game number 2. So no Jordan Love either. And then we get Sam Darnold. He will likely make his Panthers debut Saturday, playing 1-2 series, and that we are going to definitely take a deep look at. Is Sam Darnold good? Is a big narrative we will be watching for the season. Did Matt Rule make the right decision getting Sam Darnold and leaving and throwing Teddy Bridgewater to the curb? So we'll get our kind of first look at this new era of Panthers football with Sam Darnold and seeing if he's got what it takes. Alrighty, so those are all the stories that we needed to talk to, but let's talk about the NFL preseason game on tonight and see if we can make a little bit of money, a little bit of moolah. So here we go. We got Patriots-Eagles, and the spread is 1, folks. Patriots -1 on the road, Eagles +1 at home. Alrighty, let's quickly take a look on what these teams did their preseason game number 1 last week. The Eagles played on Thursday, and they lost against the Steelers at home. The Eagles were at home. They lost 24-16. We need to see more snaps from Jalen Hurts. Him only getting 7 passing attempts is outrageous. We need Nick Sirianni to already name him the starter. What is the holdup? Joe Flacco getting 17 passing attempts. He threw for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Real solid there. But we got to see more out of Jalen Hurts. Now, for the Patriots, they won their game against Washington, winning 22-13. They were at home, though, so this is their first road game here in the preseason, where the Eagles are back-to-back home games. Interesting there. Also, what do we see from the Patriots? We saw Cam Newton out there. 4 of 7 for 49 yards. And then we got Mack Jones, 13 of 19 for 87 yards. And we've been hearing that Mack Jones is impressing a lot here in preseason. So expect Mack Jones to probably play hefty minutes here to see if he can go out and earn this starting role and kind of dethrone Cam Newton for the starting position here. So Eagles at home, Patriots on the road. Man, oh man, this one's tough. I mean, I would expect to see more of Jalen Hurts, and I would expect to see more of Mack Jones, which is good. These are both positives for both these teams. So we're really not getting any great value there, especially with this 1-point spread. Eagles being at home and not beating the Steelers is a little alarming, but we also haven't seen the Patriots on the road and how they handle that. Overall, I think the Patriots have a little bit more. What was our receivers doing? Ramondre Stevenson, but remember, that's a 7 points. Patriots only probably would have won by 1 point if it wasn't for Ramondre Stevenson. That last second run, giving the Patriots 22 points. So once again, really kind of even teams on what they did offensively. Point total wise, But Ramondre Stevenson, expect him to get a lot more carries to see what he can truly do. And I think there's just a lot more buzz over this Patriots team over the Eagles. Eagles didn't have that great runner. I mean, they had Jarrett Huntley rush for 15 yards. That was it. So I just think overall there's a lot more to get excited about. I think there's a lot more depth offensively for the Patriots than the Eagles. And for that, we're going to take the Patriots -1. Oh, no, we're just going to go straight up. It doesn't really matter. But we're just going to go straight up here in preseason, not messing with any spreads. It's wild to do that in preseason. But we're going to take the Patriots here and believe in Mack Jones. So that's our bet for tonight's preseason action. Patriots on the money line. And we'll see if we put anybody on the fame list, or if anybody, if the Patriots lose and we can pinpoint a player or two, we'll put them on the shame list, folks. We are no nonsense here when it comes to our money and our predictions, getting you all the best information and the best value possible. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back later today, if you're listening live and in time. But we are back later today with a in-studio guest when we just kind of break down our final thoughts heading into the 2021 season. But we will be back tomorrow, also live, noon Eastern, doing it all again. So, let's see if there's any quickly breaking news here. Anything big breaking? Does not seem like it. Any news on the Washington name? Does not appear so. So, that is going to do it for today. Oh, we got a George Kittle versus Derwin James 1-on-1. Let's see who wins this matchup. George Kittle does. All right. Well done, George. All right. That is going to do it for us today, folks. That is going to do it for us today. We are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, and later today. Alrighty, folks. We are out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.